guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back if you're a subby and you're part of the family. If you're new here, welcome to my channel. I hope that by the end of this video you'll find me worthy of your subscription. My name is Tlali, and on this channel we do different kinds of things. We share vlogs, we share life, we do chats, all things live essentially. So today we are continuing with the payday chat series, and this is episode 3, right? Oh, by the way, let me congratulate the winner of my Easy Equities voucher to the value of 200 for the last episode, which is Dumi. Well done. Guys, anyone can win this voucher. All you just need to do is to comment down below. Leave a comment that is relevant to the content. Today in particular, we're talking about how to budget on an average income in South Africa, right? So tell me down below how you would change what I'm going to say, how you would improve my budget, or how you will incorporate what I say into your current budget, or what you've learned from the budget and what you will do with regards to managing your money going forward in light of the points or the budget that I'm going to present to you, right? So that way you stand a really great chance of winning the 200 rand worth of Easy Equities voucher. It's not a lot, guys, but if you buy shares, you never know what it can do for you. Right, so let's get right into the video. So according to the latest report by I got this from Business Insider, or is it Business Tech, one of them. I'll tag it on here. The average salary in South Africa is currently 23,000. Actually made notes here on my phone. Don't mind me if I just look at my phone. I noted things down here. I just want to be as accurate as possible. Yeah, right. So the average salary in South Africa is currently sitting at 23,500, and that's a gross pay. And the average net pay is sitting at 14,969, so just below 15,000. And when I saw this, I thought, how would I budget this if this was me, right? So let's get right into it. I'm just going to use these figures. I know, I mean, a lot can be said about how true this is, whether it's a good representation of the country. I mean, I think they get this from Stats SA, I'm not very sure, but we're just gonna work with it, right? And also, yeah, this is for the formal sector as well. So what they define as formal sector, so this does not include jobs like farm work, and domestic work and those kinds of jobs. So that's what they define as the formal sectors, not me. Right, so yeah, so we're just going to work with these figures and we're going to drop a budget, right? Let's start first by actually putting down the assumptions with regards to this average gross and average net pay, right? So I'm going to work with 15,000, which is the 14,969. I'll leave it at 15,000 just to make this easier, right? So that's the net pay that I'm going to drop my budget on. And what I'm going to assume, because this is down from a gross pay of 23,500, I'm going to assume that there have been deductions made, and I'm going to assume tax has been deducted. I'm going to assume medical aid has been deducted, group life insurance, disability cover, funeral covers, gap cover. I know these are some of the things that some firms or some companies sort of impose on people, you know, which is good sometimes, but yeah, whatever. So I'm gonna assume that those have already been covered and you don't need to pay for that from your net pay, right? And I'm also going to assume, because I looked at the stats for my channel and I want to make it relevant for the people that actually watch my channel. So I saw that most of my channel watchers are between the ages of in the age group of 18 to 21, just a little bit, but most of you guys are in the ages of between 25 and 35. So I'm going to make it relevant for you, and I'm going to assume that you have no child, and I'm going to assume that you don't have extraordinary responsibilities. What else? Yeah, so I'm just going to assume that. Right, so bear with me. Right, so how do we start? So normally when you do a budget, you want to cover your basic needs as a human being. If you guys know the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, you know that shelter and food are like the basic needs that you need. So I'm just gonna cover that, and I'll put the budget up here for you guys so that you follow. So out of my 15,000 Rand, I thought that I would budget 4,000 Rand for rent, internet, and utilities, right? So how I would break this down is I would find an apartment that is around 6,000 Rand. So I did do some research. I'll put some examples up for you guys to see that it's possible, right? I'll find an apartment that is 6,000 Rand, that is a 2-bedroom apartment, and share with a friend. So I wouldn't get an apartment of my own if I'm earning 15,000 Rand, right? So I'll do that, and therefore my rent will be around 3,000 Rand. I mean, here's an apartment. I think it's decent, right? I think these are based in Midrand. I think, I'm not a Joburger, so I'm not very sure, but I just looked on a quick Google search just to see if you can actually find an apartment that is 6,000 Rand and can be shared between 2 people. And I think these 2 examples are decent, right? So my rent will be 3,000 Rand, and I'm thinking, okay, internet is around 600 Rand. At least that's how much I pay for my fiber internet. So I thought we'll share it in half, because we're sharing everything. We're sharing an apartment, so we'll share the internet as well. So that will be around 300, and then I thought 700 should be enough to cover utilities, that is electricity and water, shared between 2 people. I think that should be enough. So if my single contribution is 700, sorry, and then my flatmate's contribution is also 700, I think that should be enough to cover electricity and water for a 2-bedroom apartment. All right, so 4,000 covers my shelter, my internet, and my utilities, right? And then we'll move on to groceries. So I thought, what's a reasonable amount for groceries for one person? I think that 2,000 Rand is enough for groceries for one person. My husband and I shop every week. We prefer that way because we want to eat more vegetables and fruits. So because they go bad quickly, we just decided we're going to shop every week. So in this case, because I'm earning 15,000 now in this example, I'm going to divide it into 500 Rand per week for my food as a single individual, right? And I think that will be enough. So we are now at 6,000 Rand. We have covered our shelter, our utilities, our internet, and our food, right? We've covered the basics. So I went on to think, okay, what do young professionals want, right? You want a car. People want a car. So I just thought, okay, let's put in a car. What would be the most reasonable budget for a car if we're earning average income in South Africa? And I went and looked, guys. You don't need a Merc Please, you don't need a Merc in your 20s unless you're a trust fund baby or a social media millionaire. But if you're just an average person, please, even if you are a doctor, I know that, and I've seen these examples where these companies actually make students who are in their final years of medicine to sign up to get Mercs. You really do not need it. Even if you start off with a higher than average salary than everyone else, please, you don't need a Merc in your 20s if you depend on a 9 to 5, right? So I went and looked, and I thought, what would be a reasonable budget for someone at earning average salary in South Africa, right? So I thought, I went and looked for cars that would require a monthly repayment of less than 3,000 Rand without balloon payment. Guys, don't take balloon payments. Yeah, so without balloon payment, what would be something that would cost me less than 3,000 Rand? So I went and looked, and here are some examples. I found let me just look for it. I'll post it up here for you guys. I found a Suzuki Swift, right? 2019 model. When you're starting off, let me just say this, you don't need the latest model of cars out there. You don't need the greatest luxury. You need something that is going to take you from point A to B without any mechanical problems, without without compromising your safety, right? So that's all I was looking for. So this Suzuki is 149, let's say 100, around 100, just under 150,000 Rand. And it has 36,000 kilometers on the clock, which is really not bad. Actually, it's really good for a second-hand car. So there's that option, and it's costing the estimate here says 2,854 Rand per month, right? So, and then I went to search rough estimates for insurance, because if you're gonna buy a car, which is it's an asset. If you use it to make it easy to get your bread, it's an asset. Okay. I thought, for a car that costs 150,000 Rand, what would be the insurance code for it? I won't necessarily share those. Yeah, I'll just not share those ones. But I found codes which are around 700 Rand for a car like that. Yeah, so I'm just gonna use around 700 Rand. And so my total budget for my car is going to be 2,800 plus, if I get this Suzuki, 2,800 plus around 700. So 3,500 should suffice for my car. I also find other examples. This is not like out of the ordinary. I found another car. It's a Nissan Micra, 2019 as well, and it's costing around the same price, 2,855 per month without balloon payment. And same for it as well, insurance would be around 700. I also find another car just to spoil you guys with options. I found the 2017 Kia Picanto, which will cost me 2,663 Rand per month without balloon payment. And same, we can just use the same budget for insurance of around 700 Rand for a car like this. It also has 28,500 kilometers on the clock, which is really good. So it's possible to find decent cars that do not have mechanical problems, that can transport you safely from point A to point B, because at this point you're still building. You really don't need luxury, right? So I thought, okay, these cars could work. Me personally, I would even take it as far as going to buy cars from auctions. I do know a few people who have been able to get cars from auctions and they were not bad and they still have them. They don't have mechanical problems. So at auctions, you might even find cars for like 50,000 Rand. I would, if I were in this situation, I would try to find that option. But I just thought most people are risk averse. So what's the most common or ordinary thing that an ordinary person will do, right? So that's why I'm going to stick with this. So I'm going to put a budget of 3,500 per month for my car needs, which includes payment for the car and insurance. All right, so let's move on. We've covered our rent, internet, utilities, groceries, and my car. So I thought my petrol budget, don't come for me, okay? My petrol budget is going to be 1,000 Rand. I'm going to assume that you work from home. I mean, that's our reality these days. So I assumed, okay, maybe you work from home, maybe twice a week and go into the office 3 times a week, and you stay close to the office. So 1,000 Rand should be enough. Yeah. I think it should be enough. Yeah, so, and then I thought subscriptions, right? Most people are into subscriptions. Your Netflixes, your Prime videos or whatever. I thought, okay, let me budget like 500 Rand for that. I think that's a bit much, but I was just also trying to be reasonable to say, what will an ordinary person do? After all of that, I have around, okay, this is now costing around 11,000 Rand. Yeah. Now I have 4,000 Rand left of my take-home pay. And then I thought, what are we going to do? I thought I'm going to prioritize investments. And of the money that's left, I'm going to dedicate 50% of that to investments, right? So investments can be anything that is investing or anything that may lead to you increasing your income in the future. It could be anything like stocks. Stocks are like the most common that people would think about. They are like the buzzword these days because of easy equities. So you can do stocks, but that's not the only thing. You can also invest in yourself, like use your time to invest in your skills so that you can build your skill set and become a professional in demand so that you can increase your income. So you can spend some of this money on paying for Udemy courses or Coursera courses, or learning new skills that you pay for from Skillshare, or whatever, right? Anything that is an investment in yourself is worth it. And you may be lucky enough, some companies actually give access to these things for free if you're an employee. If you have those benefits, use them, guys. Use your time to invest in yourself, right? So yeah, so I'm gonna dedicate 2,000 Rand to investments. Yeah, and investments, like I said, can be anything. Buying courses, maybe I'll save up for buying land. Don't sleep on land. In the villages where we come from, don't sleep on that land. It can be productive land that can increase your income in the future. You know, maybe I can save up for something like that as well. I've heard that in this day and age, in Limpopo, for example, you're still able to go to Achieve and ask for land without paying much. Like, take advantage of those kinds of things. Yeah, so investments, I'll dedicate this to investments. And regarding stocks, if I don't know much about stocks, the best or safest thing that I'm going to do, and guys, please remember, this is not financial advice. I am an ordinary person who just loves you, but I am not registered with the FSCA. I am not a registered financial advisor. I'm just Dali. your sister online. Okay, so if I don't know much about stocks, the safest thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to put my 2,000 rand in a tax-free savings account on easy equities, and then buy some ETFs, your famous ETFs, which are safe, I could say, not financial advice, like your JSE Top 40 in South Africa, or this S&P 500. If you don't know what to do, I think that's the best way to start. So now I'm left with 2,000 rand out of my whole net pay. So I thought, what would I do with this? I think I'm going to dedicate 1,000 towards emergency savings. It's actually very important to build an emergency savings for yourself. So emergency savings ideally should be able to cover your expenses for 3 to 6 months in case you lose your income, right? But you all start somewhere. So because I'm earning 15,000 rand, I don't have enough leeway to buff up my emergency savings quickly. So I think that 1,000 rand is a reasonable amount to dedicate towards building your emergency savings with time, right? And now I'm left with 1,000 rand. This 1,000 rand per month is something I decided I would dedicate towards my wants. So all the things that I want to do. If I want to buy a new piece of clothing, and guys, honestly, you don't need the most expensive clothes out there. You really do not. You know, style is style. Style doesn't have to cost money. You just need to know how to put things together, I think. So I'm going to dedicate only 1,000 rand towards my wants, and I'm going to be very disciplined about this. So I'll be disciplined about making sure that I don't spend more than 1,000 rand. But also, I'll be disciplined in making sure that because I budget the 1,000 rand to buy my wants or the things that I desire that are not necessarily needs, or that are not needs at all, I'm also going to make sure that I spend that money and not leave money from it unspent. Because it's important to make yourself feel good. It's really important to take care of your soul, to do something for yourself, leave something for yourself, so that it leaves you feeling good and motivated to wake up the next day and go and grind, you know? So yeah, I think that would work. If you're someone who struggles with discipline, financial discipline, they once talked about something in my varsity years at UCT. I don't remember, I was part of so many societies. But there was a lady who talked and said when she used to struggle with financial discipline, she used the envelope method. So she would put her budget in different envelopes. I don't know how practical that can be in these days where our society is pretty much cashless. But I would say for your wants, for the 1,000 rand that you have left for your wants, I would say maybe withdraw that, not the whole salary. Maybe withdraw that and put it in an envelope, and every time you go out with friends on the weekend, have a drink or something, take the cash from there. And when it's finished, it's finished. You know, when it's finished, it's finished. You don't go and swipe your card. You don't go and get a credit card, guys. Maybe I'll actually have a video dedicated specifically on how to use credit cards, right? So I won't talk about that. But anyway, I'm saying do not use your credit card to feed your wants. I think that 1,000 rand is enough money to cover your wants. Remember, you've already bought groceries, right? So I think that in those groceries, you can include your snacks, the things that you like snacking on. You know, I think that budget is enough to include those things. So this 1,000 rand is something that you're going to use for chilling with friends on a Saturday, going to a affordable restaurant. You can afford to do this twice a month, which should be enough because you should be spending most of your time with at least family or investing in your skill set, right? So yeah, that's it. I think we've come to the end of my budget. I think they should really work. I think it's a really reasonable budget. Yeah, let me know what you think. Yeah, I just thought the thing that I'm going to prioritize with this is paying myself first, which is, if you remember, we're going to save 1,000 Rand in emergency savings, and we're going to invest 2,000 Rand. So those two combined are around 20% of my income. So I'm putting away 20% of my income to invest in my future. I think that is a very good amount. Many financial advisors or financial advice from registered companies always suggest that you should save around 10% of your income. I think that you won't get far with 10%. Unless of course you're already paying for provident funds, which in this case did I even mention that? I assumed that even provident funds are already deducted from your average salary. So from your net salary, I think that it's good to at least save 20% towards your future, to invest towards your future, either through savings or investments, but I would focus on investments. Right, guys, I think that's it. Tell me what you think about my budget. Tell me what you would improve. Tell me if you learned anything from it, what exactly you learned, and what you're going to incorporate into your budget, or any comment that is related to the content in this video today. So yeah, guys, thank you for watching up until this far. I really appreciate it. Please leave a comment below. Please like the video if you liked it. Please subscribe. Please share with your friends, with your family, and everybody's friend, and everybody's family, and cousin, and uncle, and aunt. Jokes. Maybe not jokes. Yeah, guys, I'll see you in the next video. Thank you. Bye.